You ever have one of those moments where you wish you could unsee something because you know it's going to change everything? That's exactly where my story begins. I wasn't trying to find anything. I wasn't suspicious. And I definitely wasn't prepared for the emotional storm that followed. I was just visiting family for a quiet weekend, hoping for a little peace. But instead, I stumbled into a situation that made my heart sink. My cousin, someone I'd grown up with and trusted my whole life, was acting different, distant, secretive. And there was this heavy feeling in the room, like something important was being hidden. I tried to ignore it. I really did. I kept telling myself, this is none of my business. But you know how the truth has a way of pulling you closer, even when you don't want it to? That moment was the beginning of a choice I never wanted to make, one that would tear my family apart the moment everything shifted happened on a quiet Saturday afternoon. I was walking through the hallway to grab something from the kitchen when I heard a soft laugh coming from the guest room, my cousin's voice, but warmer, almost nervous. Then I heard another voice, one that definitely wasn't his spouse. My heart tightened instantly. I didn't want to assume anything, so I paused, hoping I had misunderstood. But then I heard him say something gentle, something you only say when you're emotionally connected to someone. It wasn't graphic or loud, just intimate in a way that made my stomach drop. I froze. I didn't push the door open or confront him. Nothing dramatic. I just felt this wave of sadness wash over me. I cared about his spouse. I cared about our family. And in that moment, I realized I was holding knowledge that could break someone's heart. I stepped back quietly, but my mind was racing. I knew the truth, and I had no idea what to do with it. For days, I carried the truth like a weight pressed against my chest. Every time I tried to focus on something else, my mind pulled me back to that moment outside the guest room. I kept asking myself, is it really my place to say anything? I didn't want to hurt anyone, especially someone who had treated me with nothing but kindness. But staying silent felt equally painful, like I was betraying someone who didn't deserve to be kept in the dark. Whenever I saw my cousin and his spouse together, smiling and talking like everything was perfect, my heart tightened again. I felt torn, pulled between loyalty to my family and compassion for someone who trusted all of us. The secret made me feel distant, anxious, and strangely guilty, even though I hadn't done anything wrong. I talked to no one. I didn't want to spread rumors, and I didn't want to accuse anyone without being absolutely sure. Still, the truth kept echoing inside me, louder every day. The moment things shifted came unexpectedly. I was helping clean up after a family dinner when my cousin's spouse quietly pulled me aside. Their voice was soft, almost trembling as they asked, "Have you noticed anything different about him lately?" My heart dropped. It felt like the floor shifted beneath me. They weren't accusing me of anything. They were simply reaching out, searching for reassurance or honesty. I couldn't tell. But looking into their eyes, I saw something familiar: confusion, worry, and a silent fear that something was slipping away from them. I froze for a few seconds that felt impossibly long. All the thoughts I'd been carrying suddenly pressed forward at once. My loyalty, my fear of breaking the family apart, and the growing guilt of holding something so heavy. That was the moment I realized staying silent was no longer protecting anyone. It was only deepening the hurt that was already happening behind closed doors. And whether I liked it or not, I had to decide what doing the right thing really meant. After nights of internal debate, I finally knew I had to act. I couldn't continue carrying the secret, letting it quietly erode the trust within my family. But the thought of confronting my cousin directly made my stomach twist. How could I do it without causing irreparable damage? I decided to approach it with care. I wrote down my thoughts first, organizing what I had witnessed and the emotions tied to it. Then, I reached out privately to their spouse. I didn't dramatize or accuse. I simply shared what I knew, speaking softly, honestly, and with as much compassion as I could muster. The moment I pressed send, my heart sank. I felt relief, but it was intertwined with fear. I had crossed a boundary, and I had no idea how they would react. Yet, deep down, I knew that honesty, even when painful, was the only path that could prevent further harm. The aftermath hit harder than I ever imagined. Within hours, whispers began to circulate through the family. I could feel eyes on me at gatherings, heavy with judgment or disappointment. My phone buzzed constantly, messages ranging from confusion to anger, some from family members I barely knew, all questioning why I had stepped in. I felt a mix of regret and relief. Regret, because I hadn't anticipated how much tension the truth would create. Relief, because at least the secret was no longer festering, poisoning relationships in silence. Yet the guilt lingered. My cousin was furious, their anger directed squarely at me, and I couldn't ignore the tight knot in my chest every time. I thought about their pain. I found myself reflecting constantly. Did I handle it the best way? Could I have approached it differently? Every conversation now carried weight. Every glance felt loaded. I realized that doing what's morally right doesn't always come with comfort or approval. It often comes with loneliness and conflict. Time passed slowly, but gradually, the intensity of the fallout softened. My cousin's anger didn't disappear overnight, and some family members still avoided me at gatherings. Yet, over quiet moments and tentative conversations, I noticed small changes. Some reached out privately, expressing gratitude for my honesty. Others admitted they had suspected something was wrong, but hadn't known how to address it. I realized that standing by the truth came at a personal cost, but it also allowed others to face reality rather than live in denial. It taught me that moral courage isn't about being liked. It's about doing what you know is right, even when it hurts. Now looking back, I understand that my choice wasn't about punishment or revenge. It was about honesty, accountability, and the hope that confronting difficult truths can ultimately prevent greater pain. So I have to ask you, what would you have done in my place? Could you choose honesty even when it risks everything?